Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome to the first serious part anyway, of the test bench series. Now I've got it just over here from me, you can probably see in the background, and we're actually just going to run a user benchmark. So I've already shot and recorded the breakdown of price, so sort of like best price at the minute, how much I paid, the various options. As you may know from the previous video, we've got a 1600 AF in there, but I have also bought a 3600 as well, just because it was a good price, as I go through in the next part of the video. So I thought we'd run a user benchmark just to sort of see where we're at, without any overclocking of any of the components. So the RAM is still running at 2133 and the processor is at base core and boost and base boost, if that makes sense, as in nothing's been tweaked. Same with the graphics card as well, and that will sort of give us a good indication of where we're at for this particular build. So for the test bench model, we have the RX 480. Sorry about the green cables, I wanted to use red cables but I didn't have any, because I actually sold them off with my old or only other Ryzen build, the full water-cooled PC that I did, and I have no videos on, I don't think. Well, I had looked the other day and I couldn't find any, so that's a shame. But no, everything seems to be running fairly well. The uptime on this has been idle for about 5 or 6 hours now, so yeah, until we properly stress it, I won't be able to give you any real further info on the test bench. I am still looking for a name for her, him, it, because I do like to name my computers. I think the last test bench was called Idrisil, and that had an i5 4590 in it with 16 gigabytes of, I think it was just 1600 megahertz RAM, and that one I think cost me about £280, and then I had to buy a new power supply and what have you. But basically just an old office PC, whereas this one is all from new parts, apart from the open box, which came smelling of cigarettes, so clearly not a open box or a X-Display by any stretch of the imagination. Just a word of warning there for people who might want to try and save some money by doing that, like me. And well, there you have it. So can we see the user benchmark? We probably can, but I will just go through it anyway. So at the minute we're doing okay, to be fair, considering none of it's overclocked. We're looking at a 54, sorry, on the gaming, which is 1 percentage point less than the laptop, so that's not too bad. And the weakest part is obviously the graphics card. It is a bit outdated. It's not performing potentially as well as it could do. It's an old mining card that I bought, so I don't know if that will have any impact on it. But yeah, we'll be looking to overclock that and see how well it does as well. Not too fussed about the SSD. The RAM is obviously reporting much lower scores because we're not fully utilising the speed, which of course then as a knock-on effect will not yield the ideal CPU score, even though it is scoring a very respectable 78.2%. So for reference, I think my i9-9900K is 104% overclocked, or 105%, I don't know, something like that. So really, I can't argue with that, and that's just the 1600, so it'll be interesting to see how the 3600 stacks up. But yeah, just going to go down into a few of the breakdowns in terms of the pricing, a little bit of discussion about sort of why I picked the parts, although they're mainly just because they're competent and they're a good price. The B45 motherboard that I went for is not the cheapest, but it was the one I felt offered the best price for performance, as in it had more power delivery modules than the two cheaper B series B450 motherboards, and it also had four sticks for 4 RAM slots, DIMM slots, whereas the other two boards only had 2, which I thought could have been okay, not a big deal. But when there was a £6 difference, I think at some point you've got to say, well, might as well just spend that tiny bit extra. I guess I could have just bought a non-open boxed power supply, but you know, I wanted the fully modular and what have you. So yeah, I'm going to get into the price breakdown now. Right, so I figured we would have a look at the specifics of the parts and what have you. So over here you can see I've got my price paid, if you're interested, and I've also got what the part picker will give us as well, or as close to it as possible. So this is the 14nm version of the Ryzen 5 1600, but the 12nm version, which is the AF, is very similar as well, so I won't worry too much about that. They still going for the same sort of price as a paid. We've got the motherboard as well, is actually slightly cheaper now. CCL have free delivery, so yeah, that's fine. I did get both the RAM and the motherboard both from eBay with the 20% off code through eBay. So so the Patriot Viper at the minute is £68.80, as you can see. So it's still, you know, really decent price. Anything under £70, I think, for 3200, 16 gig or 3200, it seems to be a good deal right about now. The Silicon Power 1TB M.2 is now, for some reason, £154. I think it's 125 on Amazon, but I don't know why it's put it there. So I paid £117.99. Was in a bit of a rush and couldn't really wait. I would probably recommend saving a bit of money here and getting a 128GB whatever M.2 SSD, best you can find. You know, you're probably not spending much more than £40, and then you're probably spending about £30 on a good 1TB hard drive, even a 7200 RPM one. So, you know, that way you could save yourself, oh, I don't know, I can't remember what I just said now, but yeah, you save yourself almost 50 quid there, which would be, you know, a good step down in price. So we've also got the RX 480 8GB edition as well. That one I paid £105 for with delivery. There's no prices available on here for it because it's not a new card. Potentially, you know, you could look at somewhere like CEX, or SEX as it's called, I believe, in the UK. And they offer 2 years worth of warranty on their cards. Never taken it back 18 months in and said, oh, this isn't working now. But, you know, you've got the illusion at least of some sort of guarantee on that one. And they didn't have the cooling either down here for the power supply. So I just picked out the closest best I could, which is just a bronze 700 watt EVGA power supply. I think they're okay, but it is unfortunately non-modular. Whereas the one that I ordered is, and it also is the 80 Plus Gold as well, but all the aforementioned issues there. So with the 1600 build, it comes up to 513.38, and if we stepped it up to 3600, it's just over 550. So, you know, obviously other things to consider. You need a case, monitor, mouse, keyboard, etc., all the peripherals. But in terms of, you know, building a new computer from scratch, 550 quid you probably could. You might need to spend a bit more to get a decent modern graphics card. In fact, I'll take that off and we'll have a look and see. I mean, I said 1650, it doesn't have to be 1650, could be anything. But we'll see what 1650 is going to cost you. We'll do cheapest. I mean, that's the point, right? So 1650, cheapest is 137.99. That's actually not bad, I don't think, for the minute. What about a 1660 Ti? Oh, a lot more. So 1660 for £200, that might be your best bet. So yeah, under 600 quid if you make the changes to the storage, and I think that would be a really competent gaming PC. I'm not sure where it would fit in the Userbenchmark side of things that we've been looking at today, but it'd probably be, you know, fairly high up. So, so that's where I am with the parts. I think I've done all right for the climate. We'll just have a quick check on the 3600. Obviously this is not exhaustive, this is just a lazy way of doing it, but you know, do bear in mind that prices do change all the time. So it's got it at 153, which I think is probably about right. that's what we're going to be running with for the bench, for the test bench over here, which you can't see now. But yeah, I'll put in a little video of it at the end, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Any questions, queries, comments, particularly telling me stupid I am for building a test bench now, or having 2 processors, I don't know. Yeah, it's all in there. So I've also put a poll on my community tab for the next graphics card to look at. So feel free to go down there and have a vote if you want to, yeah, maybe give me some direction or steer as to where I might, or what I might look at next. That's about it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. Right, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.